Welcome again to another Skipboo Masters video tutorial. And in this video tutorial, I am going to show you how to jungle as udyr with an untraditional build. And because of my comments left on my videos, I am going to jungle with the tiger stance. You can jungle with the phoenix stance even though some people don't. Even though the tiger stance is much more powerful than it was before, so it really depends on your preference. But since my first two videos were of me as udyr jungling with the phoenix stance, I thought I'd do my last video as udyr with the tiger stance to show you how to do that. So yeah, this is what you do. For my untraditional build, the purpose of this video is to show that udyr can jungle without trying to go for his razor first. Now the advantage of this may be basically on your preference of how you want to play udyr. How I play him, if I play him with the untraditional build, what I do is I get the regrowth pendant and I build it into the philosopher's stone. And what that does is it gives him mana regen and health regen and a nice cool passive of 5 extra gold every 10 seconds. This is actually very helpful because udyr chews through his mana. You may say, well, I have the blue buff, but you don't always have the blue buff. So in those instances in between where you do not have the blue buff, you chew through your mana. The philosopher's stone really fixes that problem of not having the mana there to deal with. So this is what I do. I'd kill the big dog here first, and always remember to keep on clicking your ability to keep up it, to activate his passive, and to use the skills to make activation skill. So I would save my smite for the big ghost over here because he's more dangerous than the big wolf over there. So and then put a point into a turtle. Doink, doink, doink. And then go right down here to the golem. Yay, the golem! Woo-hoo. Yeah, I don't end up with this switch, really. And I'd put the third point into the turtle stance unless you're trying to gank. And if you're going to gank, I would suggest going for the third point into bear stance. So yeah, at this point, since you really don't have enough power to take on the blue buff, what I would suggest doing is if the enemy does not have a jungle, to go into their jungle, or to go over here, kill the little small guys. Hello, small guy, goodbye. Kill him. Or kill the other guy. Oh, the small one. Out, back, down. Let me. Alright. And just chill, and after you're done doing that, this camp should respawn right then. And then after you're done with this camp right here should respawn right as you're done with this one. Or right as you get to that one. It's pretty much the same as trying to jungle without smite, but this time you actually have smite. If you want, you can probably take on the blue buff when you first start, but I would not recommend it because you may be cutting it close to how who would win that battle with the blue buff, with the golem right there, because you wouldn't have all the health potions to pour down on yourself to keep yourself alive. Oops. Now what you want to do is you want to save enough for the philosopher's stone and enough for your boots as well. So that means you want to go back at, I don't know, when you have about 700 gold. Let's take this little small material from that thing. Buy some time. Alright, that was fun. Then we move on. got a little more mana now because I used my turn stance. It can be a little slow going with the untraditional build, but it's not impossible. But the purpose of showing this type of playstyle udyr is to show that that junglers do not have to go for the health potions in the armor or the health potions in the attack damage. So once you reach the 700 marker, go back, get your Philosopher's Stone and boots. And that will mean the Philosopher's Stone will give you plenty of mana regen to make sure you don't run out of mana even if you do not have your blue buff. And if you do have your blue buff, that's an extra bonus. So yeah. So now, what I do is... Oh, wait, grab health potion first. Is attack... Now, at this point, I would go get the blue buff. Your smite should be up, depending on how much you use it. And then after you reach level 5, put 1 point into bear stance. Or help any of your lanes beforehand if they need any help. And this is what I'll emphasize on jungling. If you are trying to get your blue buff or your red buff and your teammates are in trouble in one of the lanes, I will say this to you. Your buff is not more important than your teammate dying. Because for example, if I'm the blue buff and I have a teammate over here who's in trouble, my blue buff is not more important than my teammate. I can always come back and kill the blue buff, but my teammate may not survive the attack. And they will be appreciative to that. Now, if you're getting a blue buff and bottom is being attacked, there's really not much you can do about that because you're on the cross map. But if mid and top are in trouble, you're close enough to help. So really, it depends on you paying attention to what's going on and to look if your teammates need your help. Just stop. Woo. There we go. And then come down and kill this golem. And then maybe now going for the tiger build, you're going to be pouring more points into the tiger. You're not going to really put any points into the phoenix stand until much later because you're after the bonus damage that this does. As you can see, it does an extra 80 plus the 108. And the more points you put into it, that is much higher, and it deals much more damage. It's especially good for ganking and stuff like that. So yeah. Now what I would do, the next item I would get with udyr, with my untraditional build, is I would go after the shed, which is, I'll show you in a second after I kill this. There we go. Is I'd go after, I believe I'm pronouncing it wrong, so I'm going to show it to you. No. I'd go after this item right here. I'd get this item next. But that's my opinion on how to play udyr when I'm doing the untraditional build. You may want to play him differently. I'd go for that item, and then I would either, after that, build it into a Trinity Force or start working on something else. But yeah, this is the basic build to how to play as udyr. Now with the Philosopher's Stone, I do not sell it back. What I do is I build it into this. And this is actually very useful. It gives you a 50% cooldown. It gives you some health. It gives you mana regen. It gives you health regen. But the greatest benefit is the movement speed it gives you, the unique active. Gives you 40% movement speed for 30 seconds. That helps with getting away, it helps with chasing down enemies, it helps with saving your allies' butt by giving them extra movement speed. So yeah, this is my guide to how to... so this is pretty much how to jungle as udyr with an untraditional build for jungling. The main purpose of this video is to show to you how to do it without going for your lantern or your blood razor. So yeah, you can take him in another field if you want to. You can probably, instead of getting the Philosopher's Stone, you can go for something else if you want. But it completely depends on how you want to play as udyr. So yeah, This has been a Skip Boom Masters video tutorial to play as udyr with an untraditional build. I hope you've enjoyed my video. I will be working on other video tutorials on juggling champions. If you have any suggestions, or if you have like a champion to be shown how to jungle as, just put a comment beneath the video to one of the champions you want to be shown how to jungle as, and I will try to get to it. This has been a Skip Boom Masters video tutorial.